Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge sent us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be us forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we
Before God and all mankind,
I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart,
the wisdom and courage of my mind,
the strength and vigor of my body,
and the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice,
brotherhood, and peace,
to work diligently and creatively,
to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may under God
increase in beauty,
fellowship and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare
of the whole human race.
of the whole human race. Of the whole human race.
Hello, hi, Dr. Adams. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. A little tired, but good.
Yes, I can imagine. So, you had a recent trip to Jamaica.
Yes, I just got back 3
Have you
hours
got
ago.
back? Right. Oh, word. Well, how was it? How was your trip? How was it?
Oh, it was so good. It was
Yes.
great.
I'm so happy for you.
I am happy for me too.
Yeah. Well, tonight we are wrapping up. It's our last session. I see Corby McNay saying, hi, hello, welcome. I bet your trip was good. Was it good, Dr. Adams? Yes, it was. It's good having you all tonight in this space. As we are wrapping up, tonight is our final session. We've been doing the healing circle for a few weeks now, 7 weeks. Tonight is our last session, 8 weeks. Welcome back to this space. This space is where we come together to explore practical tools, share wisdom, and collective strength. And we are continuing to cope, with the aftermath of Melissa. And so I'm Zanu Gordon, the host and lead clinician. And tonight, of course, I continue to be joined by the brilliant Dr. Janelle Adams, who is a school psychologist. And later we might be joined by other clinicians. So I just want to thank everyone who is here for being in this space. And thank you for your commitment to your journey, the journey of healing as we're all going through. As we know, Melissa has left so much damage emotionally, physically, and we're still healing from all of that. So tonight, our culminating session, we want to integrate all of the things that we've talked about, all of what we've gone through. And so together we will reflect on the sessions that we've gone through. We're going to honor our collective resilience and survival. We're going to reconnect with values that continue to guide our decisions. And then we're going to create a psychological safe and meaningful closure to this healing circle. And as we begin tonight, I want to acknowledge something deeply important, especially as we prepare to transition into a brand new year. And McNay is saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to everyone. Mr. Tharp has joined us, a college counselor. Welcome, Mr. Tharp.
Welcome, thank you.
Happy
Hey
New
guys.
Year to you. Yes.
Happy New Year.
And so we're honoring the journey. We have all lived through one of the most catastrophic storms our country has experienced, a storm that demanded resilience, adaptability, and what Mr. Tharp talked to us about, anti-fragility. And so it's not just surviving a hardship, but being transformed by it. And so tonight, we're still here, we're still holding space, and we're still healing. Healing does not mean that the storm didn't happen. Healing means learning how to respond differently because of it. And throughout these sessions, you have practiced so many things with us. We've practiced accepting reality as it is, even when it is painful. We've practiced noticing our emotions without letting them control our decisions. We've practiced stepping back from unhelpful thoughts rather than fighting them. We've practiced staying grounded in the present moment. And then, most importantly, making choices aligned with our values. For many of you, for many of us, this has meant difficult but necessary decisions. Some of the decisions that we had to make were pausing or replanning crop growth and agriculture, because we know lots of people have lost so much. Some of us had to rethink wealth and building, income and savings because of how it's things that we just have to spend on that we didn't plan to. Some of us had to just adjust timelines for building our dream homes and other dreams that we had. And then for others, it's delaying certain plans and prioritizing our safety, our stability, and our family. And these are not signs of weakness, but rather these are signs of wisdom. And you are not the same person you were before the hurricane. And that matters. You have learned how to stay with discomfort, regulate emotions, and make intentional decisions even when the path forward is uncertain. We are all better today. Remember when we started in session one, it was fresh, everything had recently happened, and so much emotions were at play. Today we are better. Not because the storm happened, but because how we choose to respond to what has happened. So before we move into reflection, we're going to do something intentional and light. Healing also requires a moment of ease, play, and connection. So we're going to engage in a short gaming activity, something simple. So Dr. Adams, Dr. Thorpe, something simple. We're going to play a game tonight. I didn't, tell you, but it's spontaneous. You see this activity going around, this challenge about the Say It on the Rhythm challenge or something like that.
No.
You haven't seen it, but you
No.
It's very simple. So we're gonna do this gaming activity, something simple, grounding, and fun. And whatever you feel right now, whether relief, sadness, pride, exhaustion, everyone is welcome here. All your emotions are welcome here. So we're going to pause and we're going to play this game. I'm going to introduce it to Dr. Adams and Dr. Tharp. It's Say the word on the beat game and challenge. It has been going on Facebook and all social media and all of those spaces.
I'm not a great social media person, so
okay, I'll start off since y'all are not familiar with it.
Yeah, model it for us, and then
yes, I'll model, and then one of you go next. All right, so let's get started. Oh wait, let me start. Let me go back. I didn't see that. Okay. Yes. Let's say it on the rhythm pretty much.
Oh, I think I saw it.
Look. Cook. All right, so that was my turn. Who is?
I saw it.
I still have not seen this, but this looks.
You haven't seen it?
I saw it.
Well, y'all are learning
the last week. Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
All right, let's go.
Ball, bell, bell. Call, ball.
You are offering him no doctor.
Wall, call. Wall. Bell call. Bell, ball, call, wall, bell, ball, call.
All right, your turn now, Carp.
Car. Star.
Car. Okay, good try. I'll do one more. I'll try one more.
Hold on. Flag on the play.
You say what now? You want to do this one?
No, flag on the play, because how come mine had a different... I had bell, call, and wall. How comes all of one rhyme and mine don't rhyme?
I do not know.
I didn't know it was a game, though. I just thought it was somebody being
I'm very competitive,
funny.
I'm very competitive.
Well, guess what, Doctor? You want to do this one now? Dr.
No,
Adams?
you can have it. No.
Let's see this one. I'm not sure what this circle is supposed to be. If it's circle or is it something that rhymes with sink?
No, it might be pink.
Okay, so it's pink. Okay, let me go ahead and do this one. Let's see. Oh, let me have to go back. I missed that. Okay. Pink. Pink, blink, pink. Blink, sing, blink. Pink, blink, sing, pink, sing, blink. Blink, sing, pink, blink. All right. Anybody wants to do one more before we move on?
No.
Okay, all right. All right. So I thought that would be fun, for us to kind of just have a light moment and kind of just showcase one of the strategies we talked about over the weeks about things we can do when we want to just be at ease, when we want to just um, lessen cortisol release in our body. We've gone over so many strategies. And so tonight I wanted to just model one simple one that we can use, and that's gaming. Something we can do with our family, something we can do with our friends if we are out with our friends. A simple activity. And Dr. Adams will go over some more. We talked about soon. The same Dr. Thorpe will go over some of them. But before we do that, I want us to reflect a little bit on this activity that we just did. What did you feel during the activity? Did you find it fun? Did you find it not so much fun? Is it a strategy that you feel would work for you? How did you feel about it?
Like I said, I'm very competitive. So the only thing going through my mind was, how do I win all of these 5?
Right.
I didn't know it was a game. I saw it, but I thought it was a comedy thing. So now that I know it's a
Yes.
game, I will
It's
leverage
a
it.
game, comedy,
Yeah,
all of that.
I like the cognitive aspect of it.
Yes.
Challenging you to really zone in. So I did
Mhm.
like that. I like it. It was a good distractor. It can be a very good distractor, a good icebreaker,
Yes.
a good way to unwind if you are very frustrated or stressed about something.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be used therapeutically too. So and
Yeah.
it also facilitates humor, which is a very very good therapeutic tool.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
where I was gonna go with laugh.
Yeah,
Cause it to laugh. So anything that can get me to laugh,
yeah,
you're freeing up
Yes.
so
yeah.
much when you do that. So yeah.
So yeah, those are great highlights, and that's something I thought too. It's a good way that we can be at ease. It's humorous, and so Dr. Adam said something too. It's not going to be the best for everybody. It's not the technique or strategy that might be the best for everyone. And so we've explored over the 7 sessions so far, so many different strategies that we can use when we want to be at ease, when we want to lessen the release of cortisols that causes stress. And so we're going to take a moment to talk about over the sessions that we've had, Dr. Thorpe, Dr. Adams, what are some of the moments, what are some takeaways that you've gotten from the sessions or you've shared yourself, things that you think people can just hold on to as useful tools as we close this space?
Well, you know me, before I get there, I'm always going
Yes,
to jump back, just in case this is anybody's
that's
first
okay.
time. I'm always
Yes.
going to jump back to making sure we all have a working definition of trauma. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and for the most part, everything that we've been saying, everybody has their own barometer of what they can withstand. But trauma is an event that may happen that overwhelms your nervous system, or a series of events, or it could be the lingering complications and implications of said event. So anything, any circumstance that overwhelms your personal capacity to cope with that situation, then you start talking about stress, and then even beyond that, you're talking about trauma. So with Hurricane Melissa, we've all had our individual trauma. We've also had collective trauma. We're talking about our systems, our school systems, healthcare. We're seeing what's going on with our health, with outbreaks, things like that. Our communities, churches, all of these different things. Because of this hurricane, we have different responses, right? Fight, fright, or freeze. And now, what I want to remind us, and for those who have been with us and for those who are new, I've been saying the event, right? But we know that trauma, the hurricane is a traumatic event, but the trauma that stays with us is also that wound that happens as a result of the event. So it's not just the event itself; it's both of those things. So sometimes we talked about this in earlier sessions about what this could look like, especially in kids: nightmares, regression, peeing the bed. With in general, people becoming hyper vigilant, very anxious. Um, your body starts responding differently. A lot of somatic responses with headaches, stomach aches, sweatiness, all of these different things. So you would have to pay attention to how you respond, and what that looks like in your body. But that's typically what happens. Now, the reason why we're doing these sessions is because we have to release that stress and release the responses to that trauma. Because if we don't, our body stores it. It stores it in different parts, and again, it manifests itself in different ways. It's been linked in multiple studies to high incidences of heart disease, cancer, very serious health implications. So what happens when you're stressed? Um, you have really there's this fear center in your brain called the amygdala that goes off. It lets you know, oh, something's going on. It's an alarm. What's happening? It sends increases cortisol to the body, so it sends stress because what the brain is preparing to do is to protect you. Hence, you have the fight, the flight, or freeze, and in more recent times, spawning. But mostly, we stick with the first three, which is fight, flight, or freeze. That happens because it's like, okay, the alarm goes off, the cortisol goes, and you're like, okay, am I going to fight this thing that's in front of me? Am I going to run away from it? Or am I so overwhelmed, I'm stuck, I don't even know what to do, I'm frozen? That's typically the responses. It will affect like how you remember things, again, how you sleep, how you eat, how you relate to people. You might want to withdraw, how you attend, engage, all of the things. So some of the things that we talked about, some of the skills that we talked about when this happens, especially in the case of Hurricane Melissa, where it's going to be something that's chronic, meaning it's over a long period of time, right? We're not going to just get over this next month. This is going to be years and years in the making. Some of the skills that we introduced in earlier sessions, we talked about breathing. There are different types of breathing. They're all the different things, but the main purpose of that, again, is to stabilize. That's the first. When you talk about Herman stages of recovery, any theoretical foundation for recovering from trauma, typically most experts agree that the first step is stabilization. So what we need to do in the moment, though, is to stabilize ourselves. You're telling your body that you're safe. And in doing that, we usually start with some type of breathing. You have box breathing, where you breathe in for 4. So inhale for 4, you hold it for 4, you exhale for 4, and then you hold that out for 4. That's a very popular one, a common one, breathing. A simpler one, which I like, just deep breaths, breathing in like you're inhaling something sweet, exhaling like you're blowing out a birthday candle, and doing that multiple times. So different types of breathing, very, very good. Grounding exercises. You all know, if you've been with us for the past 8 sessions, I don't think there's a session where I have not mentioned 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe 6 out of, or 2 out of the times I may have missed a sense, but the whole point is to activate your senses. So 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. All right, I got all the senses this time. And sometimes that's not always the order, but it's really good for disarming your system. You're taking away the cognitive focus from whatever is happening with that traumatic event, or if you're feeling a wave in that moment. So, okay, now you're engaging at different parts of your brain, which is the fun parts of your brain. So going back to this whole biology of trauma, the fear center going off, the cortisol being released, your body going into fight, flight, or freeze. When your body is going into one of those responses, essentially the front of your brain is turned off. That's where you think, you reason, your problem solved, because it's not time for that. It's time to protect you and to survive. So the back of your brain is what's going on. And that is why the breathing and the grounding is super important. So you can tell your brain to, hey, I need you to come back online. There's no active threat. There's no danger. You are safe. I need you to think through this problem. I need you to reason. I need you to use all of your knowledge that you have, all of the experiences that you've acquired over time. That's your crystallized intelligence or your fluid reasoning. I need you to do all of that right now. But it's not going to do that if it feels as if, no, my priority is to protect you. So that's why the breathing is important. The grounding is important. Some quick things we talked about were just like to regulate your temperature. If you get something cold, hold it in your hand. Some ice. That's one of the quickest ways. Sense your olfactory, like smelling something. Again, common theme of senses, activating your senses and disarming your nervous system. Dr. Gordon had talked about in some other sessions. He led us through some guided imagery, which was really powerful. And the progressive muscle relaxation. So that's where you start from the head, going to your toe. You're essentially just squeezing different muscles in your body, even including your eyebrows, furrowing them, winking your eye. If you can do your nose, I can't. Your mouth, shoulders up to your ears, wrists, going all the way down to your toes. So that progressive muscle relaxation, again, movement is also a very big part of that stabilization piece. And I've said in multiple sessions, the bigger the trauma, the bigger the movement. We've talked about expressive arts. Creative arts is also a really great way. Coloring, but for the kids, playing outside, encourage a lot of play. Play is the language for students when they're going through trauma. I mean, play therapy is really big with that because it's proven to help children in particular with how they process trauma, because that is their natural language, is playing. So those were some of the ones that came to the top of my mind that we've talked about multiple times. I'm going to pause there and see if Dr. Gordon, Mr. Thorpe have anything they want to add to the foundational pieces.
I think you did the manual a while ago, but I'm just gonna piggyback. One of the things that came really strongly out of this healing circle for me is, and I'm just piggyback, is we must not, what they call, I think it's trauma invalidation. Yeah, we tend to a lot of time diminish people because of our biases and because maybe we have not gone through certain things. And we must be very, very conscious, mindfully conscious, that people are really going through some serious stuff because of post-Hurricane Melissa. And I've been seeing some arguments online, even the argument right now that is happening with the government giving 75,000. I saw some people just jumping up, and I thought to myself, I wonder how those people who have lost all of the over 100 churches, $75,000 can't even maybe build one of the church. So whether it's a church, whether it's an organization, whether it's a school, whether it's a building, let us not be so quick to just throw salt, but to look back and say, if I was in that situation, if I said this statement, how would that person be feeling? So we must be very mindful to really try and build psychological safety, because people are in survival, maybe in their survival mode. And if they're in the survival mode, God knows what spectrum they're on when it comes to fight, flight, freeze, and pause response. And just being in tune. One of the things I do appreciate about, well, I don't want to say appreciate disaster, but one of the things that comes out of it a lot is that it brings us back to basic, our humanity. And because a lot of time we can get so caught up in the materialistics of life that we lose sight of our true strength, which is our humanity. And I think things like these bring us back to basic, help us to remember the value of life and the value of people, and to appreciate the small things, to appreciate even programs like this that is building a platform and even a research to help to bring out a level of awareness. And so another thing that I think really came out was the whole anti-fragility concept. Still working with that. And one of the things I really tremendously love about psychology is that it reframes a lot of times how we see stress or how we see disasters. And that is one of the strengths it has. And anti-fragility is one of those concepts I believe really speaks volume into the situation. We need to help our people to learn how to build their lives back again on better systems, to reframe the situation, because sometimes stress is about information. It's not about injury. It's about what is it telling us, how we can position ourselves better, what psychological resources, what physical resources, what mental resources, what human resources. Because one of the things that I've learned as I've grown older, sometimes it doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know to leverage them, it's of no value. And so as we move into the 2016 in a few hours, let us recognize that I believe God has given us everything we need to overcome the storm. And let us utilize our resources, whether that is our skills, our credentials, our knowledge, our resources in whatever capacity, to build anti-fragile systems. In this context, you're building one through mental health, and to help so people can access and know and become more aware, as Dr. Adam is talking about all of these knowledge. That is, those knowledge is what you use to build anti-fragile system, because the more self-aware you become of how you respond to trauma, the better you are to tap into these type of techniques to help you to regain self-regulation of your nervous system, and to really know how to calm down your survival brain so that you can think through. And this is how we need to help people to build these type of anti-fragile system, that all is not lost, and hope is abounding in circumstances like this. But it's just that sometimes we need to give people, show them or demonstrate to them, because a lot of times situations and circumstances like these can really facilitate learned helplessness, and we need to come alongside them. We need to give them the knowledge. We need to point them in the direction, and not just say, oh, you're going to grow stronger from this. No.
Right.
uh, Come alongside them, build a bridge. That's what your skill is. Build a roof, raise some funds. If you are a party person, don't feel you can't contribute anything. Go down there, raise some funds, go down there, have a treat for the children, whatever it is, learn to build system, and not just maybe one moment, but help people to navigate the landscape of what they're going through, so that they can know that they can overcome this. Yes.
I love that you said that, because I think brings me back to one of the sessions we had with, I think, Pastor McCoy, maybe, where we were talking about, it's not just all right, we're going to pray for you, right? Like, somebody's hungry and you just come down there and say, yeah, man, God got you, or whatever. Like, actually partnering with people, and
Yeah.
people with whatever skill you have or knowledge you have that you can help with building the bridge. I'm happy that you also said, it's not just about like, oh, you're going to grow stronger from this, because I think sometimes, because I think we done another not session in this, but we need to do like a big talk on anti-fragility, because we haven't been able to do a real deep dive, because I don't want anybody leaving there thinking we're trying to say, you need to just bounce back quickly, or you just need to be strong, and you just need to, we're resilient people, and we're gonna, because that is not what we're saying at all, right? There's an adaptation that happens, a growth mindset that is occurring as we're building these better systems. And I think it's important to realize that even though you're struggling, or your body is responding to the trauma that you've experienced, I think Dr. Thorpe said this in the beginning, that's not a sign of weakness. It doesn't mean you're fragile. In this case, if we're talking about anti-fragility, but what we're talking about is, how do we adapt now that this thing has happened? We're talking about going back to the basics. If we're overwhelmed, and we need to stabilize ourselves, and we need to change how we've been responding. The systems that are in place have not been working. We've seen some things now exposed and exacerbated because of Hurricane Melissa. What does that look like for you as a person? And we talked about maybe in the last session about boundaries and self-advocacy. And what does that look like as a system? Where I'm thinking, for me, education system, because that's what I'm most biased to. But all of those things, I just wanted to underscore what Mr. Thorpe was saying, because anti-fragility is such, a great concept for us to really dig our heels into. Oh, I'm using one of those cheesy lines, dig your heels into. Anyways, dig your heels into. But I want to make sure that it does not become weaponized as something that we're saying that we just need to get over it and be strong, because that's not that's not the message that we're trying to convey. So I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, wow. I mean, Dr. Adams, Dr. Thor, powerful. So, Dr. Adams, you've already kind of walked us through, some of the physical, psychological, and biological effects of trauma. And you talked about pretty much, you gave a good capture, a summary of what we've gone over as it relates to trauma, the reason we've been doing this. And then you talked about some of the tools that we can use as we cope through, the traumatic events that are going on, and the catastrophe, the Melissa that has happened, that has been catastrophic. And then, Mr. Thorpe, you come now and you talk about anti-fragility, which is so important during this time. And a session with Reverend McCoy, he talked a lot about the importance of this anti-fragility too. And I think throughout the sessions after, we kind of focus a bit on anti-fragility. And I want to say that I've been seeing a lot of this in some communities, though. So, I want to say that I've been seeing neighbors organizing supports without waiting on the government to give them things. So I want to elevate that. I see people doing things out there. I see people who live beside, some other people who, even though they experience struggles, they were able to go next door and help hammer up a roof and build back maybe a room or something. I've seen families kind of restructuring how they live, and how they work and support each other the same. So, I mean, I've been seeing things, especially too for the churches. And Reverend McCoy was here, who through his church, they've been going out and they've been serving the people food and offering
Yeah.
service in so many different ways. So the schools too have been offering spaces for people to shelter. And so community leaders too have been reimagined. They've been reimagining how they serve. So we've seen some community resilience and anti-fragility practices. And I think this is something that we kind of want to help people build more, to focus more as we transition, as we move away from this space and as we come to a closure. We want people to be more alert and ready to a state of anti-fragility. And so something that we've been using is ACT, the ACT, because I say ACT, but ACT. The ACT lens is what, when I talk, sometimes I kind of focus my conversation sometimes around acceptance, commitment therapy, and kind of use a lens through the same anti-fragility framework that you introduced to us, Mr. Tharp. And from the ACT perspective, pretty much, anti-fragility shows up when we accept reality without denial, when we face fear and grief without being controlled by them, and when we stay connected to what matters most. Those are anti-fragility pieces too. And when we take valued or value-aligned actions, that is also part of the anti-fragility piece. So many people, they've really been dealing with a lot, and they need to make like intentional choices that are rooted in like the family, their faith, or the dignity or the community. And those choices are what transform suffering into strength.
Post-traumatic growth, yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that post-traumatic growth you mentioned? No.
You already know you walked into that one.
Oh my Lord. But it's closely aligned with the anti-fragility concept. Post-traumatic growth is really when individuals have really reframed trauma, and they really have developed what they call meaning making. They have it's not that they deny the trauma, as they say in the ACT psychological therapy technique, but they validate it and they leverage it and they utilize it as a instrument of hope and restoration and healing. And it also helps them to really recognize that what happened to them was not to make them a victim, but a victor.
Wow.
And so post-traumatic growth is like you move along the spectrum, because it sometimes takes time. And we have to also be mindful that some people take time to really come out of that victim mode. And that depends on a lot of things, how their nervous system is process the data, the trauma, and the intensity of the trauma. And this is why we have to build equity
Yes.
Equity is so critical, especially when we're dealing with various people and community. We can't just say, okay, because this worked for Trelawney, this is going to work for Manchester.
Right.
No, it can't. So we have to be very in tune. We have to assess. We have to look at the needs and be in tune with those needs so that we can build various, because it might mean that Trelawney might need a bridge, but Manchester just
Mhm.
need a stage.
Mhm.
And so, we have to understand the whole equity. So post-traumatic growth is when the story is almost very closely tied to narrative, that externalization of the story. You reframe that story, and now you become this hero, the central. You understand that what has happened to me has not happened to me. It's almost like a Joseph. Joseph
Mm.
at the end, he said, okay, yeah, you meant it for evil, but God meant for good and for the saving of many lives. That's when he reached that point, after he went through so much, and he recognized how everything added up to that moment, and this was his purpose. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So growth is
Yes.
very important.
Yes.
As we move away from this space, we've dropped different strategies and tools and nuggets that we can take away from this space. Um, remember that as we go through life, as we go to 2026, there are
Yeah.
going to be emotions and feelings that feel uncomfortable, but let us be aware of what's going on in our bodies. And
Yes.
Dr. Adams explained how it starts, in the brain and how it um, shows up in the body. We want to know what our body is experiencing. We want to be able to diffuse from unhelpful thoughts. A lot of us, we sit comfortably in those thoughts that are not true sometimes because we
Mhm.
cannot distance ourselves from our thoughts. And so we want to be able to diffuse, some of those unhealthy thoughts because a lot of them are not true sometimes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that is important as we move away. We want to
Mhm.
make value-based decisions. We want to
Mhm.
commit to an action. Yes, Dr.
That's
Adams.
the one thing. Only because we're talking to Jamaicans, I feel like I can say this. But if it was at a different audience, I wouldn't say this. But we used to say in church growing up that the mind is the devil's playing ground. Like I feel
Mhm.
like there's so much connected between our
Mhm.
religion as a country and
Mhm.
psychology, and a lot of things that we've grown up knowing. There biological and neurological things that are attached to that. So yes, we said that in church about the mind being his playing ground because he messes with you, like what
Yes.
is it? What is it y'all deceit like disguised as light? I don't remember exactly how it go, but just all of those things, right? The manipulation. And if we sit in those places, so go into the psychological side of that, you know
Mhm.
we would now start saying, you have a thought that plants that seed, you can start going down this spiral. It's a negative spiral that can lead to other things. So all that to say, going back to one of the sessions we had about integrating our culture, our religion, and psychology, that is one of our strengths as a people, I believe, and being able to lean into that some more. Some of the things that we
Mhm.
already do as people who are believers are really helpful tools in coping with trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, our nigger spiritual past has really given us a lot to use as a resource,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's one of the things I appreciate about Jamaican people. I know a lot of times the church comes on a lot of negative or a lot, well, it's more generalization. But when you really, really analyze the spiritual ethos of the Jamaican people, it has been an anti-fragile system that has really given people the courage and the strength to overcome. So we have that pool to really tap into.
Yes.
Yeah, Jamaican people, when trouble hit them, they know where to go.
Hello?
God's
they,
truth.
they know.
And look onto the hills,
Yeah,
right?
they,
Right.
they don't play no games. They know where to go. They understand certain systems.
Yeah.
So, I think it's something that we can leverage and remind people that we do have this and this legacy that has been passed on to us. And we have to give respect to the church for that. That's one thing I can say. I mean, there's anything that we might disagree on a lot of things, but give them props when
Mhm.
props is due. you know, yeah. So give them props for props. So I appreciate our spiritual resource as a Jamaican people.
Yes,
Um,
you're
yeah,
right.
it
That's a
is
big part.
really, it's a legacy, and I don't care what people want to say. It's a part of us, and we have to give respect where respect is due.
Yes. And I
Mhm.
remember too, one of the sessions that we covered alongside the spiritual piece, we talked about our ancestors,
Mhm.
and how they were resilient, and how their anti-fragility helped
Yeah.
them, and we're saying that we're rooted, we have that blood in our veins and in our genes. So by nature, we are able to adapt, we're able to rebuild. Not saying it's going to be easy and everybody's going to wake up as we've been talking about tomorrow and everything is okay. But what we are saying is that we understand that we are from a people that truly know what struggle was and truly free themselves from, a whole lot that has happened. And so, we have that resilience within us, we have that drive within us to overcome, as we move further and continue to build, like the maroon communities.
Mhm.
How is it going for the maroons? I know that there was some um, recent talk around the maroon.
I think right now, I think the soldiers are there. I don't know
Yes,
what has
I heard
happened,
last week.
They were
Yeah.
but
saying they
there
didn't want
seems
it.
to have been some lenience from Curry. So
Okay,
props to him. Because the soldiers are there, restoring the roof. So
yeah.
props. So there seems to have been some agreement, because the
Okay,
soldiers are
perfect.
there. Yeah. So, and we have to kind of be sensitive to that situation and understand some of the
Hmm.
nuances why that. And one of the things that you spoke, Zanu, one of the things I would encourage you as the founder of Healing Circle, or Dr. Adam, I don't know. The psychology of stories are very, very powerful. And one of the things that I really took when I was studying my master's at the University of Rotterdam is that I came in tune with these stories, these heroes and heroines,
Hmm.
and I really took a deep dive, as Dr. Adams said.
Hmm.
I really took a deep dive into their spirituality. I really took a deep dive
Yes.
into how they laid on their lives. That kind of narrative a lot wasn't really projected to me growing up in Jamaica. I knew they were heroes, but now they become very personal to me because I took a
Hmm.
deep dive. And I think Healing Circle there's some stories that are going to emerge out of this that will change and transform the world. And
Hmm.
we need to capture those stories with the technologies and the narratives. We need to package them and to show how we have overcome. And
Yes.
Yes.
I think we need to kind of start, preparing for that.
No,
Such
that's
a good
true.
point.
That's a very good point indeed, because
Yeah.
people have been reaching out to me. I know,
Mhm.
many people
Mhm.
watch the program after the fact, and
Yeah.
people have been reaching out, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for doing this. This has been
Mhm.
so helpful," and so many feedback. And part of what we're going to talk about before we close the space is next step. What are we going to do next? And we're going to hear some of these stories in a paper that we plan to write or we're working on, where we're
Mhm.
going to elevate how this space has helped people during this healing process. So we're going to evaluate the 8 sessions that we've had, and hopefully God's willing, we will have this published where people can access it and learn from how we
No,
use.
you will publish it.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
2026.
Guys, very hopefully.
There we go. Right, speak
Hopefully
it. Yes.
published. Yeah.
Look at us talking about anti-fragility. And then hopefully, right?
It's gonna happen.
It's
It's
gonna
going to
happen.
happen, indeed.
Mm.
So that's a step that we are looking into taking. So putting back to ACT perspective is that I want to say that our ancestors practiced acceptance long before we had a name for it. You know, they felt pain, fear, and grief. They've been through it all. They've been through, they've been on the land through many disasters and many fights and wars and all of that. But they stay committed to values like their family, their faith, their dignity, freedom, and community. So I guess my question to all of us would be, what do we value? And when we think about healing, when we think about growing and moving forward, we have to base it on a value. What is it that is so important to me that means I must get over this? And it's important in the anti-fragility piece too, because that drive, that push, that is something that's going to push you to always keep going. So in everybody that has that anti-fragility mindset, there is a value that they hold on to. We want people to try and continue to figure out what is your value so that you now can continue to work, adapt to that anti-fragility piece and framework and keep going as we continue. So we are coming to the end, and as we come to the end, I want us to kind of talk a little bit about, what are you seeing in terms of as it relates to funding? I know that the country has received a whole lot of help, a whole lot of support. How are we seeing the support showing up in mental health? Are we seeing any changes? Have we heard any improvement, any new research that is out there? What are we seeing from where we were now to where we are now? How is it on the mental health side of things? I know, like in terms of building, people are building structure.
On the ground,
Mhm.
there definitely is an awakening, and there definitely is a revolution.
Yes.
Um, Psychologists know there's more a level of respect for the profession,
Yes.
and the remuneration also the monetary. I'm seeing some good salaries for psychologists now in Jamaica, and that's very good. Definitely, there need to be more diversity to meet
Mhm.
the Jamaican landscape. I mean, like psychologists, there still needs to be like a program that really trains. There's none still. I, you know, um, Definitely, I see the Ministry of Health really pushing. Dr. Tufton has really been sounding the alarm,
That's good.
and he's talking
Good.
more about mental health and why, as Jamaicans, we need it. I think you posted a directory last week or something previously
Yes.
on your
Yeah.
LinkedIn page.
Mhm.
Um, there's more thankfully more organizing to build systems, and they're getting so that people are more aware of the accessibility. Even my school where I'm at Excelsior Community College, before it was only maybe two counselors. The principal has expanded it. It's six of us, very highly trained, competitive, and competent counselors are there. And so the need is there, but there's still,
Yeah.
some
Yes.
people not recognizing the value, but definitely leaders are waking up, because when I
Mhm.
recognized was my leader that was expanding the mental health, that it was his vision at the
Yes.
school, and so he has expanded it. So you have six counselors at a college, Excelsior Community College.
Wow.
So yeah, and they're very, very, very good, well trained.
Something that I would like to,
Mhm.
Mr. Thorpe, is for
Yes.
the government to be more open and
Mhm.
willing to allow clinicians like Dr. Adams and myself who are in the diaspora who want
Mhm.
to be more involved. But
Mhm.
the service we can provide is virtual support. I'm
Mhm.
hoping that through research that we're going to provide and um, you know
Mhm.
desensitization sessions, that
Mhm.
there can be a wake up call, in so much words, for them to appreciate more of the support from the diaspora and virtual connection and support. So I don't think Jamaica utilizes
Mhm.
the virtual support as much as it can be used and it's available to be used.
Yeah, we definitely need to be more strategic in building systems and leveraging people who really want. It's a matter
Mhm.
of network. I think it's a matter of network. I mean, I have definitely been a pioneer in that, as you know, Zanu.
Yes,
But I definitely need to strengthen it more.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure.
yes.
So definitely, I need to be more strategic about it as well, because the broader community, the global community of Jamaicans definitely have a lot to offer, and
Indeed.
we're not leveraging the tools. We're not
Right.
leveraging the tools, and we definitely need to be more in tune and aware of the tools and do the networking. But it takes a level of being aware, and second, being strategic in setting up these kind of stuff so that the resources of these people can come into the sphere of our influence. Definitely, your knowledge would be very needed at Excel, but don't worry, I'll be calling on you. Don't worry. Yeah, I have some plans for next year, so don't worry.
Well, that is good that you have plans. Plans are good. I love that. But, on the wider
Uh-huh.
spectrum, I want us to have more, um,
Yeah, they need to be more strategic.
yeah, more
Yeah.
strategic, planning in how mental health is addressed, especially during this time. That's something I would want to see more. It's time for us to wrap up. I would love for you all to give your closing statements and sentences. And as we say, as we part in this space for now, but we all are working on a project. So we will be meeting behind the scenes. But any last words for those people who will be viewing?
I have two sets of last words because
Yes.
there's one thing. All right. So the first set, I do want to just highlight, elevate, lift up, shout out all of the caregivers. Because that's one of the sessions that we talked about. Just that's a heavy load when you are responsible for caring for other people
Yes.
while you are also trying to process your own trauma. I just want to just give a shout out to you and just, continue to give yourself grace, continue to use some of these tools as well. We've used the word awareness a lot in across these sessions.
Mhm.
There's a collective awareness. We've talked about systems and all of that, but I want you to personalize that and really look at how do you respond to trauma. Your body's going to let you know. I remember saying in one session, like for me, I'm not gonna get the sweaty palms thing. My head's not going to hurt. Like that doesn't apply to me. For me, like there's a pit in my stomach. That's how I know something is. That's my calling or my cue. So I really just want you to individualize, know what's going on with your body, pay attention to your body, have your own individual kit. That you have with your strategies that you can pull out because breathing might not work for you, grounding might not work. Maybe you can't bother with a progressive muscle. Like make sure you have that. And with the anti-fragility and the resilience, like starting to try and, adapt your mindset in how we're responding and building these better systems. Again, not just the systems, your individual system and the ecosystem. I think is really, really important. What else? That was my first of two closing remarks, I guess. My final closing remark is more so just around remembering that healing is not linear. I think Dr. Gordon has said this almost every session. Healing is not linear. You're gonna have some really good days and you're going to have some not so great days. You might question yourself like, I should be over this part already. Like I already deal with that a couple weeks ago. Why is this still a thing? That's it's just you might be in different phases of grief. We're still going through the holidays. We're starting a new year. There's a lot going on. No matter where you are in the timeline, or whatever phase you're in with still trying to process what has happened, I'm still gonna go with giving yourself grace, knowing that you do have what we've talked about, the intergenerational, not just the trauma, but the resilience piece that is flowing through you. You are not weak. What you are responding appropriately to what you have endured and experienced. Take notes of how you're doing that and use the tools to help you to stabilize yourself so that you can then recover and create a different narrative, a cohesive narrative, a stronger narrative where Mr. Thorpe has already stated where you are the victor. Your mindset, your outlook on things change. Your values are going to be a little different. You perceive what has happened to you in a different way. You can make sense of it and can grow from it. And knowing that even though you grow from that, it doesn't mean that what happened wasn't terrible. Those two things exist at the same time, but just the way that you look at things. And I think that's just what we're trying to get to. So yeah. Thanks for having me in this space for the past 8 years.
Of course.
It
Consistent attendance.
was great for me too, my own healing.
For
Like,
all of us, yes, it's been a space that we just all pour out, you know, our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, and lean on each other and navigate everything together. It's been awesome. I'm so appreciative for you, Dr. Adams, and you know, Mr. Tharp, and Reverend McCoy, Mrs. Hamilton, Dr. Damon Chambers, Tina Turner Thomas. Am I missing out anyone? So many brilliant minds and incredible clinicians who shared in this space. Gratitude to all of you. Indeed.
Yes, I love that. Gratitude is definitely an anti-fragile.
Indeed, yes.
I thought you were going to say gratitude is a must. That was
Gratitude is a
come on, like
it's a must. As we wind down the program, it has been a very good way. I just keep hearing metamorphosis, you know, and Jamaica, something is emerging, and there's something emerging out of this that's going to be awesome. And I'm extremely hopeful when I see programs like this. Hope is fragile, but it's strong. Wow. And it's opportunities like this that you really reflect, reset, reframe your setbacks. You take a better perspective on what has happened to you. And it really helps you to recognize that all is not lost. And that's my message, that all is not lost, and that metamorphosis is taking place, and the kind of knowledge, the kind of people that you brought on this platform, the kind of network that was anti-fragility panning out itself in the flesh. And I think just working on this research that we're going to do is another dimension of building anti-fragility, making people aware of this, and clinicians of how to leverage this knowledge of healing spaces and the act therapy. And it is powerful. And, and this is what is happening because. So, you know, I take the position just like Joseph tonight, you know, sometimes you think the worst has happened to you, but, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good and for the saving of many lives. And that is anti-fragility expressed. So a momentum is being built. And I am definitely looking forward to 2026 because of programs like this.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. One of my
Yes.
main takeaway, the main thing I want people to hear and do as we leave this space is, and Dr. Adams kind of talked about it a little bit. Make sure you have that kit. Use your hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricanes are gonna. We know
Yeah.
we're in Jamaica,
Mm.
June to November. Hurricanes will come.
Oh Lord.
We will
Go bang
shift
down my
where
roof, you
the light
know.
from. We do all that. But hurricanes will come. Let us be smarter, wiser, and have our kits ready, or family survival kits, or psychological kits. Let us have our kits. We talked about this across sessions. We need to have those kits ready. So when something else like this might come or show up, we are ready to go through it in a more prepared way. So before we close, I want to share what will happen with the work we have done together. This healing circle will be documented and reflected in an evaluation paper, like I shared earlier. Not to speak about this community, but to learn from it and amplify it. So the purpose of the evaluation will be to understand how the act-based healing circle supports recovery after the natural disaster. It's also how trauma-informed, culturally grounded practices promote regulation, meaning making, and hope, and how community resilience and anti-fragility show up in real lived experiences, not just in theory. So the paper will be focused on themes, not individual stories or names. Everything we talked about, no names or all of that stuff, will be amplified in this. We hope that this work will be published, like I shared. And so look out for that. We're going to be working behind the scenes, doing the writing, getting the publication done for all of us. The evaluation will be grounded in some values that we use throughout the session: the respect, the cultural humility, community voice, and healing without harm. So we are doing the work. This is how we can give back and contribute to our homeland, Jamaica, through academia, as we're all academics, research, and people with skills as it relates to mental health and psychology. So we're giving back that way. So as we bring this healing circle to close, I want to say this clearly: what you have done here matters. Dr. Adams, Mr. Tharp, all the other clinicians, everyone who shared in this space and listened in this space. What you have done here matters. You showed up with us, maybe uncertain. You allowed yourself to feel all the things we talk about that has happened, from the physical to the emotional, the psychological, the social. You allowed yourself to feel. You stayed connected to what matters. You leaned into community instead of isolation. And we've seen it. We've seen people gathering and supporting each other and doing the work. And this is what we've been talking about: the resilience, the anti-fragility. This is the ancestral strength that we talk about that continues forward. So the hurricane changed the Jamaican landscape, yes, especially on the west side of the island, but it did not erase the Jamaican values or dignity, and definitely not our future. So none of us will leave this space being alone. We are all leaving this space not empty-handed, but everybody who listened in this space must at least and can say that they've gotten one tool, at least one skill, some form of awareness, some connection through the resources we shared, are making some better choices. Everyone who participated in this space has gotten something. And so while this healing circle is ending tonight, healing continues in how you live, how you love, how you plan, how you rebuild together. So thank you for trusting this process, everyone. Thank you for trusting one another. And thank you for allowing us to walk alongside you during this journey. It's been a wonderful time sharing, caring, and being with everyone. We will be in touch. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Adios.
Happy New Year when it comes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be us forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we
Before God and all mankind,
I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart,
The wisdom and courage of my mind,
the strength and vigor of my body,
and the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice,
brotherhood, and peace.
to work diligently and creatively,
to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may under God,
Increase in beauty,
fellowship and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare
of the whole human race.
of the whole human race, of the whole